Welcome back. This is another episode of the Contrarians. This is one of our offshoot shows. You know how we've got the regular Contrarians? Well, we've also got the Worst Album Edition. This is the Contrarians Presents concept, where we've kind of freed ourselves up to talk about various things, concepts, where we are still contrarian. Hence, we can stay with the spirit of the show. What I wanted to talk about today is I wanted to do a presentation of contrary Aerosmith singles picks. I've got 6 examples of albums where I think they could have picked a better single to come off of the album and what that would have entailed, what that would have done for the band. It's kind of different in every instance. But I have 6 picks, and when we do future shows of this, it's not necessarily going to be 6. 6 is just what it came out to. So what I'm going to do is go through the albums first of all quickly, where I think they more or less got it right, and then we're going to go through the 6 in reverse order of how passionately I felt they really should have done something different in terms of a single off the album. All right, so let's get started. First record, Aerosmith, Dream On was the single. A bit of a weird history of that. It eventually kind of got a relaunch as they got bigger, and it became a bigger song and more legendary as time went on. Now it's a very legendary song for them, obviously. But I'm not including them in this because I think it was more or less the good pick for a single. I'm not a big fan of the first Aerosmith album. I don't think there is much that could have been much of a single off that album. Second album, where I think they more or less got it right, Toys in the Attic. They had picked Sweet Emotion, Walk This Way, and You See Me Crying. I think those are all great singles choices, obviously for different reasons. Walk This Way is just the most insanely catchy riff you've ever heard in your life. Sweet Emotion's got cool things going for it, the different parts, that bass intro, the sound effects. You See Me Crying is one of the band's greatest ballads. I think it's a great ballad, but it wasn't much of a hit at all. But it was somewhat of a single. So yeah, weird one there. You really don't hear that song being played much. I might have added in there No More, No More. I think that's a really cool Stonesy one. It's got kind of a mix of acoustic and electric in there. I think it's pretty catchy. But no, we'll leave that one out as well. The next record where I think they got it right, Draw the Line. They had picked Draw the Line, Kings and Queens, and Get It Up had been singles. I almost think Draw the Line is really the only single on that album. I've often said it's the greatest song of all time by anybody because I love the fact that it's complicated and it's got all these cool parts and it's not even that long of a song, but it's just a really neat, weird construction. To that tune. Always likened it to Led Zeppelin's Celebration Day with a weird kind of meandering riff that doesn't match up with anything else. Kind of a long story. So yeah, I think they at least covered the best song you wanted to pick off of that. The next record where I think they got it right, Pump. They picked Love in an Elevator as a single, Fine, Janie's Got a Gun, What It Takes, and The Other Side, which is most of the album. And those are probably, the best singles picks. And obviously they did a great job at picking the singles because that was a huge, huge album. But yeah, for various reasons, those are all pretty good choices. You've got both of the ballads have been picked for singles. Love in an Elevator is a great kind of hair metal-y kind of song with the whoa-ohs and all that. So yeah, didn't really get it wrong on Pump, I don't think. Get a Grip, picked for singles was Living on the Edge, Eat the Rich, Crying, Amazing, Fever, Shut Up and Dance, and Crazy. I mean, again, most of the album. So obviously with that shotgun, scattergun approach, and it was a massive, massive record as well. So, but yeah, it's kind of not great seeing every single ballad in there. Amazing. Hang on. Yeah. Amazing, Crying, and Crazy. And then, yeah, the rest of it, sure, whatever. Living on the Edge. 9 Lives. The picks were Falling in Love is Hard on the Knees, Hole in My Soul, Pink, Full Circle, Taste of India. Again, most of the record being more or less picked. I thought Falling in Love is Hard on the Knees was a really well written, put together, middle kind of song between, hard rock and balladry, or at least melodic poppy hard rock. So yeah, I thought that was a really good choice. Again, you're seeing all the the power ballads and stuff. Just Push Play. They had picked Jaded, Fly Away From Here, Sunshine, Just Push Play. I don't care. I don't like pretty much any songs on here. Jaded was probably a pretty good pick for a single, I would say, on there. But yeah, this is one of those where I would almost said there are no really good singles on it, whatever. Music from Another Dimension's kind of the same thing. They had picked the singles Legendary Child, Love Her a Lot, What Could Have Been Love, Can't Stop Loving You. And so I'm a big whatever on this one too. I don't really want to hear any of these songs as singles. So it's maybe like, don't put out any singles, whatever. Okay, so moving on though. My picks for the 6 albums where I think they could have done a better job picking the singles. Starting in last spot is this record here. I always kind of have a hard time figuring out how it works. Yeah, I guess it's like that. Oh yeah, look at that. When you actually, I'm looking at a mirrored image of it, and it actually comes out perfect. That's right. So, anyways, done with mirrors. They had picked Let the Music Do the Talking, which was done much better by the Joe Perry project. Sheila, Darkness, My Fist, Your Face. So a lot of things were floated as singles off of this. This is their first album for Geffen. And I actually think The Hop would have been the best choice for a single choice on top of all of those other songs at all. It's kind of like a quick rock and rollsy one. It's up tempo. It's not too heavy, but it's got some roots to it. Because this is an album that's kind of dour and gray and brown sounding. It's kind of opaque and thick, and so I thought that one would have been possibly the best choice for a single off of this record. All right, moving on. The picks for singles here were Hangman Jury, Dude Looks Like a Lady, Angel, Ragdoll, Magic Touch. So a lot of the album again, and obviously it was, they more or less did their job because this was a huge album. Hangman Jury, I don't think I would have really picked as a single. Dude is an obvious, amazing single. What a great song. By the way, when we do these singles pick shows, we're going to make sure we really kind of put on our A&R hat, rather than just say, oh, what was my favorite song on the album kind of thing. So we're going to be like really talking about the actual, use of a single and why it is a good single, rather than just like pick, oh, that's a great track, because, some of the favorite tracks sometimes obviously aren't good singles choices. So anyways, yeah, speaking more of like an A&R person, I think, for these episodes. Yeah, that was great. Angel, I really disliked the song Angel, and this whole power ballad thing, I think, kind of ruined Aerosmith's reputation. Ragdoll's pretty good choice. I didn't think Magic Touch was a good choice for a single. I thought it was a little bit too thick, and the drum track kind of drags on it. It's just this big, massive kind of boulder of a song. Sure, it's melodic in that, but I don't think the arrangement is too heavy, I think. So why I've included in here as a contrary single pick is I think the song Permanent Vacation should have really been a single with those steel drums in it and stuff, with that great up-tempo, energetic Aerosmith riff, the whole concept of Permanent Vacation. I think Steven Tyler does a great performance on it. I just think that was a missed opportunity. That song should have been like all over the radio with those sound effects, Steven Tyler making those monkey sounds at the beginning. So it's got a lot of ear candy and stuff as well. I just think literally, I would have said it's the second best song on this whole album to do as a single after Dude Looks Like a Lady. All right, my next pick, Rock in a Hard Place. So Rock in a Hard Place, singles off of this were Lightning Strikes and Bitches Brew. Our band in the 80s, Torque, we actually played Lightning Strikes. But I think the best choice for a single off of this album, and it wasn't picked, is Joni's Butterfly, leaving out the prelude thing. But what a gorgeous song. It's my favorite song on the album. It's mellow. But it's not a power ballad. It's really kind of sophisticated and cool. It's got some neat parts. It's Stonesy. It's up tempo, beautifully recorded. They get one of their best production sounds on this record. So yeah, I think, barring the fact that it's got a little bit of an obscure title, I think everything else about it is quite hooky, and this could have been a massive, massive song for them. I think it's one of my favorite, mellow Aerosmith songs, and yet, like I say, it's not a power ballad. So yeah, I think that is a big missed opportunity on this one. So that's my number 4 pick. Number 3, Night in the Ruts. As a single off of this, they had the cover of Remember Walking in the Sand. Now, I don't like the idea of picking a cover. I think, you want to show the band as songwriters. But it is actually a really good cover. I think it's a pretty decent pick as a single. It's a good song. But I think they really missed the boat with No Surprise not being launched as a single and 3 Mile Smile. So I believe those are both side 1A tracks. Yeah, they're not in order on the thing here, but that should tell you something. And I think both of them are short enough and to the point and have enough interesting things going on. They're not too heavy, but they're heavy enough. 3 Mile Smile is really funky, but it's got that cool kind of intro riff thing, and then that really kind of neat sliding switchback drum thing that Joey does in it. And No Surprise, it's got some great lines like vaccinate your ass with a phonograph needle and all that. It just moves along. So I think a big missed opportunity. I think No Surprise and 3 Mile Smile could have been hits off this album, and they wrote them as well, because there are other covers on here as well. All right. So that's my number 3 of number 6, most, in intensifying order as we go forward. Like I say, feeling strongly about it as we move on. My next one is Rocks, 1976. Now, obviously, it was a big album. The songs picked as singles off of this are Last Child, one of my least favorite songs on the album, Home Tonight, great ballad. Not a problem with seeing that as a pick, but in certain respects, it kind of bombed. I mean, it didn't become one of their huge songs. Neither did Last Child, really. And Back in the Saddle was a single pick. And granted, it's also not one of my not even the top half of my favorite songs in this album, but that, believe it or not, with Rocks being more or less voted this band's favorite album of all time, usually makes the polls. There's not a lot of big singles on here, but Back in the Saddle is the song that actually does get played on the radio a lot. So what I feel is the huge missed opportunity on this is Sick as a Dog. Just let me just check that again. Yeah. So first song on side 2, Sick as a Dog. I think it's up there with Draw the Line as my 2 favorite Aerosmith songs of all time. It's gorgeously recorded. Again, it's got that mix of acoustic and electric in it. It's got that amazing harmony vocal thing that leads into one of Steven's greatest vocal performances again of all time. I think that just would have been a smash hit. It's just like heavenly in terms of melody. It's kind of Stonesy. It repeats a tagline that could be kind of a tagline that would be like a Taking Care of Business BTO, Sick as a Dog, what's your story and all that, Cat Got Your Tongue. It's just catchy throughout. So I'm amazed that song was not a smash hit for them, or even bubbled up by classic rock programmers, picking it, against label wishes and turning it into a big single. I think that should have been an amazing single for them. And frankly, Lick as a Promise is probably my second favorite song on the album, and I think that is a great stadium rocker, maybe a little too heavy, but that I think also could have been a big single on it. And then you get the deep tracks like Rats in the Cellar and Nobody's Fault, which I don't think would have been great singles. They're just too weird and too heavy and too dark. But certainly Sick as a Dog and, like I say, Lick as a Promise as well, I think could have been great singles choices. Okay, so my last pick here is Get Your Wings, Aerosmith's second album. So off of this for singles, they had picked Same Old Song and Dance and Train Kept a Rollin'. I don't think Same Old Song and Dance is that great a song. It's kind of a slow and galump thing and all that. Train Kept a Rollin' is just a tired thing, and it's a cover, and it's jammy, and it's almost too heavy, almost weird. Weirdly, and you don't hear it on the radio that much. You hear it a little bit. You hear Same Old Song and Dance on the radio a little bit as well. And the reason, I mean, Aerosmith is a massive band, so you do get these deep album tracks. But so it is odd, but you do hear those songs. But I don't think they are particularly good singles picks. My single pick from this album would be "Seasons of Wither." What a gorgeous, gorgeous song! It's completely mellow, so it's a sophisticated ballad. And they were doing very good ballads when they wrote them themselves. Then it got terrible when they brought in the song doctors. But "You See Me Crying," "Home Tonight," and "Seasons of Wither," amazing, amazing songs. But I think this could have been a massive, massive single for them, almost like a "Stairway to Heaven" / "Dream On" kind of feel success from this song. So yeah, I see no reason why this song shouldn't have been 3 or 5 times bigger than "Dream On." It's just clearly a better ballad, I think, and really nicely recorded, great acoustic guitar sounds, just a really smart, sophisticated song off this record. So there you go. That is, what did we call this again? This is the Contrarians presents Contrary Aerosmith singles picks. Let me know what you think, in the comments below of my picks. We're going to be doing more of these shows because I think it's a really cool concept. So yeah, we'd like to hear from you in the comments, what you thought of these picks, whether we got it wrong, if you thought some of these ones that we didn't pick from these albums had some others that you would have pushed forward. Again, we've got a Patreon going. We'd love some support over there. We have a lot of Patreon exclusive content we're doing, and even some live kind of things. But yeah, that's it for the Contrarians presents Contrary Aerosmith singles picks. Bye for now.
That's it, dude.